Quinoa. I'm sure you've heard of it, and maybe you haven't even tried it, but it's a wonderful, wonderful crop. In the Andes region of the world, they grew it for a crop along with maize. And that was really good that they did because it provides all the essential amino acids, which is very unusual for a plant. And it has calcium and phosphorus and iron. So you get all your complete protein every time you eat it. Believe it or not, it's related to the tumbleweed, but it's also related to the beets and spinach. So I wanted to show you what we have. There are several varieties of quinoa. There is the black variety. There is the red variety, which is mixed in here with the black and the white. And the one you'll see most often is the white variety. They're expensive, but that's because they have to be harvested by hand because the flowers make seeds at different times, of course, so they can't harvest it with machines. The other way you can get quinoa is in flakes, and you'll see how little, I mean, it's just because they're so little they come out so small. And this is the whole grain that's just been flattened. You can use this for breakfast as a breakfast cereal, and it's really good. And to put it into a pot of water, you put 1/3 cup of quinoa flakes into a 1 cup of water. You put it on boiling water, and then you put it down low, and you cook it 5 to 8 minutes. It's really easy, and this is what it looks like. Oh, this is really good. Always surprised when everything comes out really well. You let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes after you cook it, and it makes it thick. And it's delicious. And you have your whole proteins before you start the day. So it's really good for you. The other thing that quinoa has on it is saponins when it's picked. And so you have to take that off. It is toxic to us. And it tastes like detergent. In fact, some of the people used it for detergent after they took it off of the quinoa. But most of the quinoa that we get in the United States has already had it removed. So that's a nice thing to have. Now when you cook the regular quinoa, the grains, you put it into boiling water. You put it into 2 cups of boiling water. You pour a cup of the quinoa in, you cook it just like rice. And then you turn the heat down and wait 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And it is done. And let me get that pot for you. I also wanted to show you what happens to it. This is quinoa. And if you notice, I did the mixed kind. So you can see all the different kinds. You can cook them together because they're all the same thing. Whoa, this is really hot. This is delicious. And if you will notice, in here, there's a lot of little curly things that weren't there before. Isn't that neat? What that is the germ. The germ has separated from the seed. And that's what you wait for. That's why you cook it. Because then you have the germ and the seed, and that's what makes it so it's softer for us to eat it. The nice thing about quinoa is that it's gluten-free. So everybody on a gluten-free diet can still have a wonderful, even the better kind of cereal. And this can also be used for pilafs. It can be used with vegetables. It can be used with breakfast food, and not the flakes can be used for breakfast food. And you can also get flour, but you can't use the flour by itself because it is gluten-free, so you can only add a little to the regular flour that you use. So I hope you buy some quinoa, and I hope you try it, because I think of all the available grains to all of us, that this is the grain to do.